Not necessarily, unfortunately. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The View from Here Behind Enemy Lines. This is an impromptu episode here. Mike has something to say regarding the subject of driving.
Well, I want to even expand it to anything associated with cars. So it could be about car repair, could be about movies about cars, could be about driving, could be about motor vehicle. So I think we should be a little bit more expansive. But there you go. So what triggered this one
Tell the
today
audience
was
what this brought this on today.
I was telling them just now. What triggered this was
What triggered
that
this?
yes. I tell you, you're triggering me. So anyway, the thing is that I was driving in my lane, somebody on my right side, no directional, no nothing, decides they want to get into my lane, and they are on my basically directly to my right. So I was forced to swerve to get out of the way. And it was one of those things where you had to hit the brakes and swerve so fast that the gravel on the road, you could hear it grinding. You know what I mean? It was a slammer.
And you could have lost control, conceivably.
Well, any other normal person would have lost control, but we're talking about me now. I am the master of my destiny. Yeah, I could have lost control. So, that's what prompted this particular subject, and I for the audience, just to let you know, I did inside the car call him an asshole. Okay, he didn't hear it, but for all I know, they simply didn't see me. Whatever, we don't know what would cause that to happen. But I thought this is a subject that we had never talked about: is driving. Maybe how did we get our licenses? What it was like to drive then instead of now? What's the longest trips we've taken? Stuff like that. I mean, a lot of our lives are in automobiles and vehicles and trains and planes. So what do you have to say, Roy?
Well, when you told me before we, when you said you wanted to do this episode about what happened, I just thought about how my experience in driving in Pennsylvania is so different these days than it was, say, 40 years ago. I remember years ago, I used to go through Pennsylvania. I used to go on vacation. We'd drive through, and lots of times we'd go through Pennsylvania to wherever we were going. And it was always a pleasure going there, and even down south, because you go and you're coming up behind somebody. They see you, they just move over. You don't even have to flash your lights at them. They just move over to let you go because they see, oh, he's coming up faster than me. Let him go. Now, these days, the last 20 years or so, 30 years, it's been hell in Pennsylvania. And I finally figured out why. Because Pennsylvania drivers have become very aggressive compared to what they used to be. In the 70s and 80s, they were wonderful drivers. Now they're very aggressive. And the reason is, I remember in the 80s, there was a big exodus of New Yorkers and even New Jerseyans to Pennsylvania, which was very inexpensive at the time. The houses were very inexpensive. Taxes were really, really low. And a lot of people were moving there, even though it took them an hour to get to work or more, they didn't care. Okay. They had a wonderful place to live. They had land, something they couldn't have in New York. And people in New Jersey were paying less taxes moving over to Pennsylvania. But these people from New York and Pennsylvania took their driving habits, shall we say, with them. I remember years ago in the 70s and 80s on the CB, I remember one conversation in particular that the truckers and other people were talking about. They disliked New York drivers and New Jersey drivers and Virginia drivers too. They were in the mix, okay? And
I hate to break the news to you. But my personal experience, since I did a bit of driving in it when I was stationed in Nevada, the worst drivers, I believe, are in California, especially in the Los Angeles
Oh yeah,
area.
but that's on the West
They,
Coast. We're talking the East Coast. I don't have too much experience with the West Coast, so I can't talk about that. From personal experience. But these truckers were saying they considered New York drivers the worst, New Jersey drivers right behind them. I didn't tell them I was from Jersey, of course, and although I had to agree with them. And Virginia, I remember a couple of people referred to Virginians as the New Yorkers of the South. Okay. They were hated because they would not give up the road. New York, even today, you see somebody from New York driving in New Jersey or wherever, they could be doing 50, they could be doing 80, they could be doing 100. If you want to pass them, and even if you blow the horn or flash your lights to try and pass them, they won't let you go. They hog the left lane all the time. And it's not until you get several people who pass them and then cut in front of them on purpose and then continue on their way that they finally move over to the next lane. And that's not all the time. That's sometimes they do
well,
that.
the way I drive, in most cases, if I'm doing 10 or 15 miles an hour above the speed limit, I don't
Which you would
move.
never admit to now, would you?
What are you talking about?
Which you would never admit to. Legal stuff here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But anyway, the thing is that yeah, so as far as I'm
Theoretically.
concerned, if I'm going above and beyond the speed limit, I don't need to move out of anybody's way, especially since one of the things that is important to me is I'm very aware of on ramps, like accesses into the highway I'm on. So if I know that there's an access, I am going to be in the left lane, hell and high water, to let those people in and also to avoid, bottlenecking them. That's how you get into accidents.
I
And
understand that,
then
but if
a lot of times
somebody's
I'll
coming
move over.
behind you and ask you by flashing their lights, unfortunately, a lot of people in New Jersey will just give you the finger in return.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, if I'm going fast and if my consideration is that I want to stay in the left lane, I am not going to get out of the way unless it's very easy for me. Like,
Yeah.
if
Oh no, no, I'm
if
not saying to do it if it's dangerous or anything. No, no,
well,
I'm
no,
just
I'm
saying
not even
that.
saying dangerous, but if there's just if it just doesn't work out for me, like let's say if I'm coming up on somebody and they are definitely going slower than I am, so I'm gonna at some point pass them. I'm not gonna pull over to the right lane just to let this clown pass and have to slow down myself. I'm not gonna do that. But if the right lane is empty, lately I just been letting people go because it's just it's not a big deal. But if the right lane is cluttered, or if there's people that I can see are going much slower than I am, or even slightly slower, and that I'm going to have to pass at some point, no, I'm not going to do it. And you know, I had somebody who was flashing the freaking lights, freaking out, freaking out, freaking out. I'm doing basically 15 miles an hour above the speed limit, right? Which I felt was comfortable as a straightaway, but I don't want to go for much faster than that because I don't want to get a ticket for doing 20 miles an hour over. And I also don't want to, in that situation, I also felt, and this son of a bitch, what he does is he, when he gets an opportunity, he goes ahead, swings around me, gets in front of me, and hits the brakes.
Yeah, as a way of punishing you.
Well, punishing me.
That's his way of punishing you.
Well, he's a
Trying to
fool.
scare you. Trying to
Because
scare you, basically.
here's the thing: with the criminal mentality, the way it works is you hit him in the ass. You're gonna have to. You're the guilty party. That's what he's going to say. That's what these clowns do.
Well, that's why a camera in your car is really important. You know.
Yeah, Yeah, I have one nested away somewhere, and I guess at some point I'll probably use it. Maybe
Yeah,
after
I've got
this
one.
video.
I've got to install it. It's been sitting in the trunk of my truck, and I've got to install it. It's long past due. But
But
yeah, I mean, sometimes
let's
though, you don't know if the person behind you has an emergency that they have to get to, or if they're taking somebody to the hospital, or his wife. If you see his wife next to him, maybe she's pregnant and going into labor.
thinking that stuff, man. I'm going to just drive the way I drive. If he's got a problem, that's his problem. That's not my problem. I can't invent problems for people to justify them, you know, bullying me off to the right side. The hell with that. I do the very best I can, and if it doesn't work out for them, you know, then that's that. And if there's if they just did a bank job and Joey's bleeding and they got to get him to the hospital, I don't give a goddamn. You know,
Okay,
that's not my problem.
first off, you're talking about a two lane highway. I travel mainly on highways that are 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes. Parkway, turnpike, so forth, and often and the New Yorkers gravitate to the left lane no matter what. There could be nobody in the other lanes. They will be in the left lane, hogging it. That
So
annoys the shit out of
with
me.
that many lanes, who cares then?
What?
With that many lanes, who cares?
It's just no. It's just discourteous. That's all.
Well, the thing is that a
And they
three
will
lane
get
highway.
ticket. They get tickets if the cops see them do that too.
Yeah, they have to observe them for some piece of time, though. But the thing is that um, uh, I'm kind of curious. What was the first car you drove?
Oh, it was my the. Funny you should talk about that guy. I had a dream about it a couple of nights ago. A 1960, really, the first car I drove was a 1963. Um, it was a Chevy. It was a popular Chevy, but it was the station wagon model. Oh my God, the Impala. My father had a '63 Impala station wagon, a white one, and it was a good car. It was fast and everything. That was the first car I drove. That was what I learned to drive in. Well, that and the one at the driving school.
Well, the first car I drove was a Kawasaki 100cc motorcycle. That's the first car I
That's not
drove.
a car. You just said motorcycle. You're talking about vehicle. First vehicle you drove, and it was probably not it. It was probably some
The first
tricycle when you were little.
car I drove was a Ford Galaxy.
Ford Galaxy, another good car. Another
Well,
muscle car from the '60s.
well, a gas guzzler.
Whoa,
The
they were
thing
all
was when you hit the
come on. The muscle
brakes.
cars were all gas guzzlers.
The Galaxy wasn't a muscle car.
Galaxy was well, it
No,
wasn't a muscle car per se, no, but it was
it,
faster than a lot of stuff you got on the road today.
well, here's the thing. It did have a special shift where it was uh, you could actually I think you could actually shift while you're driving that car from a lower setting to a higher setting. All I know is that
Like a
the
turbo
first
thing.
yeah, so something like that. I remember it being weird, and the thing is that the first time I drove it, I didn't have a license. Uh, I bought the car and I just wanted to drive it, so I drove it.
Huh. I
There you go.
what- my friend Little Joe, you remember him? He was about five,
Vaguely.
6 or so, okay? And he learned to drive in his father's Bonneville, Pontiac Bonneville. That was like
Oh,
a
that's a
boat, man.
car.
And he used to
Yeah.
joke that his father had to put blocks down on the pedals for him to reach and so forth. And it was funny watching him drive because you could just see his head like this, like some old man. All that was missing was the hat. And then my friend Joe Vidal, he started. His father had a. I can't remember what it was. It was if it was a Pontiac or a Chrysler. I think it was a Chrysler, but it was also a huge one of those cars with fins.
Mm.
The tail fins in the back, and that was huge also. And that was a stick, on the what do they call it, on the steering column. Okay,
Right.
and so that's where he learned to drive. And the next car I had was what?
I think I had a car that had a stick on because I remember working it, but I forget what the hell it was. I don't think I had it for long.
I rented one summer when I was in Portugal for the entire summer. I rented a Ford Cortina. Cortina was a model they made only for Europe, and it had it was a stick shift, but on the column. I'd never driven that. I'd learned to drive, a stick, a floor stick, but not that. And the Cortina, I got used to it, but it took me a couple of days to get used to shifting it that way. But I can do it. I
Right.
can do it to this day. A lot of people these days, a lot of kids these days who drive cannot drive a stick. My son Tim
My
still has his CJ5 from the '90s that he had. He his wife started to restore it for him. Unfortunately, it's got more problems than they want to deal with. But he did teach my grandson how to drive a stick.
my son Diego, he has a stick shift. He's got a Yaris. It's still running, and he loves it.
Who makes the Yaris?
Toyota.
Toyota. Okay. Oh yes. All right.
And there used to be one called the Eco, and then they kind of replaced it with the Yaris. It's kind of like not quite a Corolla.
Yeah. It's like a smaller Corolla type, right?
It's definitely smaller, but
Yeah.
that car took me to Nevada and back 3 times.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
and
No,
once with
Toyotas
a
are good
trailer.
cars. Well made cars.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, they are.
I remember when I bought my Mark IV, I had a chance. I didn't know about BMW at the time. I was really ignorant about BMWs, but I had a chance. I should have, I could have, and probably should have bought the BMW. But because it was a stick,
Okay,
I said, no. The Mark IV is automatic. It's easier. I didn't want to deal with the stick. I had to deal with the stick driving the bakery vans and so forth. But I prefer just leisurely driving without having to deal with the pedals and everything, with the clutch. I mean,
I had I, I had for a short time, a few months. I had a Saab 3-cylinder. It was 3 freaking cylinders, and
wow,
piece of crap. Um, it had a rubber piece that during the winter, because Saab is what Swedish, right? So they get cold winters. So this way the the radiator wouldn't freeze. You'd pull on this thing, and a rubber piece would come up and block the normal intake for
of
of
air
of air. Yeah, and
through the front,
there was
through the front grill.
there was also a plug on it that you could plug it into a wall socket and keep the engine warm, so this way you could start it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah,
Crazy
necessity
stuff.
is the mother of invention. Oh,
It sure
I had
is.
a. Go ahead.
What I said, it
At one
sure is.
time, I had a '65 Mustang. Okay,
Mm,
with a Hurst shifter. That was a fast car. Another fast car I had for a very short time because it turns out it was very rusted underneath, and I didn't know at the time. Somebody told me later on after I got rid of it that I could have just had a welder put another frame bolted to the rusted frame, and it would have been fine. But I bought it for $400. A month later, sold it for 400, so I didn't lose anything. But I had fun driving it. It was a T-Bird, a 1957 T-Bird. That thing was fast. And one time on Route 280, just for the heck of it, we're driving down following my brother in his Mazda, and just for the fun of it, and I mean, this thing, you just touch it and boom, it would move. And I drove around them in circles this way and then that way, just for the heck of it. Yeah.
Well, the
There
fastest I
weren't as many
drove
cars on the road in those days either, thank God.
the fastest I ever drove a car was 115 miles an hour. I was
I
doing a race, and I raced this guy, and the only reason why I beat him is because his transmission, he needed a new clutch plate, and at about 110 miles an hour, he couldn't keep up with me.
no. The most I did was, I think, 120, if I recall correctly. I don't even remember when it was. It might have been with the Mark IV. That thing had power, although it was a
When
heavy
you're
car.
going that fast, you really don't have much time to look at the speedometer.
Oh, what was the most dangerous maneuver you had that you maneuvered without crashing?
Okay, first of all, when you say dangerous, do you mean danger to life and limb or danger of being arrested?
Both danger to life, limb, the vehicle, and your criminal record.
I was at a bar at a place called the Peppermint Lounge in Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, on Sunset Strip. I was drunk, and we were going to go ahead and go to the disco, which was about a mile or so away. And I was with two of my friends, both from Montana. Both of them looked like Clark Kent with the
Okay,
glasses and
were they
everything.
Mormons?
They were great guys, but anyway, they were actually brothers. So um, I was in a hell of a mood. So I go ahead and I'm in a MG Midget. That's the same car that I did 115
Oh,
miles an hour on. And I went ahead
wow.
and I dropped the clutch and I went right into Sunset Boulevard, Las Vegas Boulevard. I was weaving in and out of the cars, and I was like thought,
Having
going
fun.
back and forth, doing yeah, but also extremely reckless. I was doing 60, 70 miles an hour doing that. So, and it's not a 60, 70 mile an hour speed limit there on Las Vegas Boulevard. I think
Right.
it's probably closer to 35. But
You're
anyway,
lucky you didn't get caught.
so now here's the thing. One of these guys that was because it was an MG midget, we had to put him in the back seat long ways
Sideways.
because
Yeah.
right, because that's the only way he could fit in. And then the other
Right.
guy
Right.
sitting up front. I'm doing that, and I was used to practice doing 90s, where you skid out and you go shoot off. And I did a couple of those, and I got there. I was a fucking madman. Okay, that's so I pull in, and both of these guys go, "That was incredible." I go, "Yeah, that was a lot of fun." He goes, "Man, the way you got away from those cops is amazing." I said, "What?"
Whoa.
I never looked in my rear view. I didn't know the cops were chasing me. Um, so when I got in there, they tell me that the
Whoa.
cops were chasing me because I was so small and fast
You
and
lost.
easy. And this is back in 1975. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so
Those all the cars on the road would hide you.
now the most dangerous accident I got into was a motorcycle accident. I used to ride the rims of my motorcycle, which means you'd tilt the bicycle and you'd ride the side of the tire.
Yeah.
And I used to like
Do that
doing.
on a curve.
Here's a,
But you were doing it on a straightaway?
no, I was coming down this curve
Okay.
in Las Vegas. All right,
Okay.
from this location, I think is Washington Park. Anyway, I'm doing about, I don't know, 45, 50 miles an hour, and I'm side driving the bike, and I lose it because guess what? There's a lot of sand in Nevada on the roads. So I hit some sand, and then I hit some sort of edge. I don't remember. I bopped, flipped the bike, me and the bike together, and me and the bike together rolled. Boom, 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 together. I It was that slow mo stuff everybody talked about, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
when
like,
you yeah,
and I'm
whenever you get into
trying
an
to push,
accident, everything slows down.
but I was trying to push the bike away from me with my legs because I knew it wasn't, my odds were not good with the bike next to me, and I just couldn't. The the gyroscopic thing, whatever, it felt like a ton. So boom, 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 boom. I ended up in a sitting position, and I was afraid to move because I didn't know what I was going to discover. You know, this family guy had seen this, and he had pulled in, and he was in a station wagon. His family was there, and he goes, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And basically, yeah, I have a dented finger from that, and I did scrape up a lot of my skin on my legs, but essentially I was fine. And I got the bike, picked it up, kicked it over, turned it on, went back to base.
The closest I came to aside from the head-on collision that some guy with epilepsy caused caused an accident that hurt 7 people, me being one of them. I was important. The year that I drove the Cortina I got the second half. I was there for 12 weeks on vacation. The Cortina I drove the last 6 weeks, because the first 6 weeks I had an Austin Mini, right? Which was, I mean, I'm sorry, not an Austin Mini. Yes, Austin Mini, not the Morris. There was an Austin and a Morris. This was an Austin Mini. Austin has been swallowed up by Morris since then. Anyway, this thing was spacious, and so it looked like a toy, but you sat inside, you had plenty of room all over. It had more headroom in there than my father's station wagons did. And it was a fast car. It was not tricked out at all. It was just a basic thing. And I had that for the first 6 weeks until my friend, I let him drive it, and he broke the stick shift, so I had to take it back, and that's how I wound up with the Cortina. But before that happened, he and I, Miguel, the same guy who broke the stick shift, we're traveling from the city to another town, all right, over. And all these roads in those days were like really curves, because it's all mountainous. The island of Madeira is mountainous, so you're going curving all over the place, right? Then at one point, I noticed that I'm doing 120 kilometers an hour, which is something like 80 something miles, I guess. And all of a sudden, we're laughing, talking, laughing. And all of a sudden, Miguel goes, "Oh my God, it's the curve of death." And I look, there's a hairpin curve we're coming up to. Hairpin. Okay. I mean, the thing goes maybe 20 feet or so before it curves back.
Wow.
I start to hit the brakes, but I'm like, oh shit, and if we're gonna make it. So luckily nobody was coming in the other lane, right? So I'm slowing down, I'm downshifting, slowing down, and I'm heading towards the curve. I go towards the middle of the road, towards the wall in the middle, to go as close as I could to that. And the car is skidding, and I'm doing the race car thing, not to spin around, straightening out the tires as the back starts coming out, and the thing is still skidding towards the wall. And these are stone walls. Okay, so you had stone walls separate, and above them were houses, right? And I'm going. It's a 2-lane thing, not big lanes either. So the thing is going, going, go. Miguel told me later that we missed it by like just a few centimeters, hitting the wall. And I'm coming around, and I managed to get back in. And luckily, again, nobody coming on the other lane. I went into the opposite lane, and slid over into my lane again and got out of it. I I must have hit the thing at least 60 miles an hour, hairpin curve. And it was thrilling, but I was completely alert, and also I was saying to myself, "Oh fuck, you really fucked yourself now." But I didn't give
Yes,
up.
you
I
did.
just did what I had to do to survive. And after we came
Yeah,
out
you
of
did.
it, my friend started whoa. He started yelling like out of joy. He said, "Oh, he couldn't wait to tell all our friends."
Well, there you go.
And they had, oh, by the way, it's called Curve of Death for a reason. A lot of people, at least in those days, a lot of people would lose their lives on that curve, not paying attention, not realizing, and come up on it and smash into that rock wall.
Um, I want to talk about my favorite racing car movie, and that's Rush with
I
Chris
never saw
Helmsworth.
Rush.
Magnificent movie.
That's
It
what
is.
everybody
It is.
tells me.
Yeah. Well, they're not wrong.
Who's that with?
Chris Chris
Chris
Helmsworth.
Hemsworth. Hemsworth, yeah.
And the thing is, that's the first time I got a chance to actually see him truly act. Not. In other words, he does a great job as Thor and all that other stuff. But man, what a great movie! And I forget that there's a German actor in it. He's freaking fantastic. Um, Everything is great about that movie. The story is stellar. It's essentially about two Formula One racing drivers that basically, when they raced, they essentially focused on each other, and that was it. They didn't
Right.
hate each other. They just knew that they were the best.
They were rivals. They were rivals.
Yeah, they were fantastic. So great movie. It is a Opie made it. So it is
Okay. Ron Howard.
what the
For
hell's
those who
Opie's
don't
name?
know, for those who don't know Opie, that's Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, yeah, great. Um, the absolutely excellent movie. Um, it's difficult to get people excited about racing when it's on the screen, but Ron Howard, he's a genius when he came to that one. That was fantastic. He's made a couple of really great movies.
Well, he's made several great movies. What? I can't name them offhand, but I know that every time I've seen a Ron Howard movie, I've liked it. Didn't he make what was the one about the old
Oh,
people who were swimming in the pool and they didn't weren't aging?
Cocoon?
Cocoon, yeah,
Cocoon.
he did Cocoon. Yeah,
Um,
that's a great film.
Another vehicle movie that you probably have heard of and nobody else seems to mention is Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Oh, it's not a. It's the trucks where the original Sorcerer where
Yeah,
they wait. There were two.
right.
One, the remake was with Roy Schneider, the Scheider, and the first one was in the 50s. And actually, it was a
Oh, I didn't
remake
know
of a
that.
French film, I think.
The one
Sorcerer
I'm talking about is the one with Ryder. Yeah, that's fantastic.
with the what?
The previous movie.
Oh, they were okay. The previous movie was very good too, but the Scheider movie, I think they say it's a better movie. It's the one where they have to take dynamite over these mountains and
Right.
nitroglycerin, and that thing, if it shakes too much, it's going to blow them up. And they're going over these
It's
rope
not.
bridges with these big
Yep.
trucks. Yeah, that was tense.
There
That movie.
was a more recent movie called Baby Driver that was good.
Never heard
A
of that.
story about this guy that basically an idiot savant when it came to driving, and he was, he was basically a criminal, and he would be hired by these gangs to be the wheelman,
Wait, Baby Driver. Isn't that the guy who was in? He played a driver in another movie too. The guy who, what's his name? He's a big star these days. He's in that movie coming out now, the flight of the Hail Mary.
Oh no, I don't think that's the character. That's you're thinking of a
That's
different
not
one.
him. All right, let me look up Baby
Yeah.
Driver. Oh, that's a is that a foreign film?
No,
2017. Oh, it's an unknown. Ansel Elgort is Baby. John
right.
Berthol is in it. He's a
But
character actor. He's
there's
in a lot of stuff.
people
John
in
Hamm is
this,
in it.
and also the comedian, the black comedian. I forget his name.
Uh, in this film, Kevin Spacey's in it.
Oh, I think the one that you're thinking about is Drive.
Drive, that's what I was thinking about, and I can't remember his name offhand. But I've come to like him.
Yeah, he's
Ryan
pretty good.
Gosling. Ryan Gosling. He's a better
Yeah,
actor than I. What's that?
he's in Hail Mary.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. He's the
There's
one.
there's that scene when he goes into the bar with the ball peen hammer. He shows you that all you need is a hammer. Oh my god! And then there's what the hell? There is what the hell is that? Yeah, baby.
What, a car movie you're trying to think of?
Yeah, with that Stratham, he did the thing where he was also a hired driver.
Transporter. He's done three. I saw Transporter 3 not too long ago. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the first one, and I wasn't that crazy about it. I like Driver better than that, and I like Baby Driver a lot. I was okay with the transporter thing because I like Stratham, but
What about the crime movies that have great chasing? The one that set the standard was Bullet with Steve McQueen years ago, and then
okay.
Seven Ups came after, tried to imitate Bullet, and French Connection had a great chase scene too, where he's chasing the subway train through Brooklyn streets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
those
our
are
chases are big.
Yeah, those are great. And the one in Seven Ups where the car crashes into the back of that truck and goes underneath. I remember reading about that. It was the most dangerous stunt anybody had ever pulled at that time. So the stunt man, like he at the last second, he got down just like the character did, got down onto the floor and crashed in. And when they went over to see if he was okay and stuff, like he was whooping with joy because he'd done it, even though he was bloody and everything.
Right.
So
well, that's a crazy life, but
and
those
Bullet,
guys.
Steve McQueen did all the driving for in that movie.
Well, there's a scene where he's driving and there's a motorcyclist that actually has to get out of the way and actually skids because of it. That was a mistake. They let somebody on the road, and that was a real accident.
Jeez,
that was not planned, and they ended up having to pay that guy that they knocked off the road.
Right. What other? Let's see. What other car movies can you think of?
There's one. Wait a second. There's one. Death race. No, death. Well,
Death
first
Race
of all,
2000. I don't. Death Race 2000, right? Is that the one with Stallone?
Yeah.
I can't remember
there's
if
two
I
of them.
saw that or if I started seeing it and never got to see it. I can't remember.
Stallone is in it, and they redid it. They're both. Death Race 2000 is a silly movie, but it's fun for nostalgia purposes. And then Death Race
Got a cult
2000, the
following, I
newest
guess.
one, is actually a funnerer movie. And then there's the man. Oh man, there was well, we have to mention the Fast and Furious, even though I don't like it.
You know, I've
Then
never
there's
watched
Tokyo.
a Fast and Furious film.
I did know that.
I've never been drawn to watch it. I don't know why.
I watched the first one. It's
No,
okay,
wait.
but
Actually,
it's
I did
just
see the first one. I'm sorry, and I thought that's enough. And now they got what, 7 or 8 of them?
I I had a game. I might still have it. That's Fast and Furious, and the object of the game is to do these events, and
Okay.
basically you get more points by being more reckless. So, like if you could jump out of your car and get on top of the other guy's hood with your little plastic piece, you're making crazy points.
This is
It's
a
just
board game.
fun.
You're not talking about a
Yeah,
video game, right?
yeah. There is a board game out there that's really hot right now. It's Thunder Road, because that is basically Mad Max, or the Road Warrior. You know, which talk about that was talking about cars
Thunder
going
Road was
crazy,
the
man. The
one where
Road Warrior,
Tom Hardy played the hero.
the Road Warrior
Thunder
is
Road.
what?
That's the one that Tom Hardy played Mad Max, right?
Um, Thunder Road is a game, and um,
No, but it's also
the
the name of a film. No.
oh, that was actually the second one, I think. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I forgot. There's, but the thing is that you had Mad Max, and then uh, the Road Warrior, and then you had one with Tina Turner, which was Thunderdome.
Right.
That was a piece of
Yeah, he
crap.
did 3 of them.
And then you had the one with Tom Hardy, which I despise. I thought it was absolutely stupid.
That's
Um,
Thunder Road, I think. Yeah, it was. It's a very woke thing because they got very
yeah,
DEI. Let's put it that way.
it's actually a Road Warrior Thunder Road. I think that's the entire title. But
Probably.
yeah, horrible movie. Um, and and to prove it's a horrible movie, a lot of people like it.
Oh, there was a Thunder Road with Robert Mitchum back in 1958.
Oh wow. Well, again, there's a game called Thunder Road that's out there where you're basically doing the Mad Max thing. You're trying to knock people out of the way and get to the end of the board before they do.
Yeah, if I
Uh,
recall
it's a
correctly,
replay.
Mitchum was a moonshiner, a running
That
moonshiner. He's a
sounds
runner.
right.
Yeah.
Robert Mitchum. Yep. There's a guy.
Oh, there's a guy
But
who broke the rules back then. He didn't give a damn.
here's one that we shouldn't talk about when we got to, just to be clear about it. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I don't remember
Bang,
the film.
bang,
I probably saw. I think I
chitty,
saw it when I was a kid.
bang, bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Okay.
I know I saw
And
it
then
as a
there
kid, but
is,
I can't remember it. Yeah.
how about this? The Great Race.
The Great Race was good. That's the one that had a lot of
It was a
big
comedy.
stars in it at the time, right? Or am I thinking of?
Yeah, it was a goofy comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with Milton Berle was in it and everything.
No, you're thinking of Mad 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 World.
Oh, those magnificent, the Mad World. That's right.
Those magnificent men in their flight.
They're
No, I'm not talking
flying
about that. I'm talking about the Great Race. Yeah. The Great
the
Race
great.
is also set back. It was supposed to be like back in the eight turn of the 19th century, and they're trying to prove that their cars are great. So they do a race around the world, and it's basically um, around the world in 80 days with a car.
Yeah, the characters would be comparable to Snidey Whiplash and Penelope and whoever the guy,
And don't
the
forget
hero was.
the
What?
stupid dog that always Muttley. Muttley the dog.
Muttley, I love Muttley.
Hate him.
Muttley was great.
Hmm.
And Muttley
But
belonged to Snidely Whiplash, right? Yeah, he was Snidely, but he sabotaged him a couple of times.
well, that it's Snidely. He
I love
deserves it.
that. Mm, 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 ooh.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Thank you
That was a
for
great. That was a
that.
great character. Yeah, one of these days we got to do an episode on dogs or other animals in film.
I'm not a dog guy or cat. I don't like pets really. Did have a pet for a
No, I
couple of
know that,
years.
but I mean, you've seen them in the movies or so, or even on TV, like Top Cat. Top Cat was all. There
My
was several
God,
cats who talk like Brooklyn
Bull,
Jews.
Benny the Bull. Remember? There's a little fat cat that was next to him, and
Yes,
it was basically Bugs Bunny, but he was a cat.
yeah, but they were all Brooklyn Jews.
Okay, fine.
The way they talked and everything. Come on, give me a break. Oh, you're a mensch.
I don't think they used any Jewish vernacular,
No,
but
they didn't
okay.
use that, no, but their accent was definitely Brooklyn Jewish accent.
Right. Well, the
At the
thing is
time, I
that
didn't know, and I
I
didn't care
was
anyway. Well,
when at that time, there was a lot of people that had exactly the same accent.
oh yeah, no, because a lot of Jewish actors did the voiceovers for these things. So of course
Okay.
they had their natural accent, and it was no big deal. It was, I mean, we heard people talk like that in everyday life. Anyway,
I have another car subject to talk about. The difference between when we were young, okay, having a car and working on a car versus today. Can you work on a car today?
even if you wanted to, they make it difficult because you lose your warranty and this and that if you open something up and so forth. Although I did see
Here's
a couple of videos on YouTube where the guy says, I can teach you how to do these things and not lose your warranty because they won't know you did it.
right. Well, the thing is that the place I went to, that I go to, they said, you know what, we'll change your wipers out for you for $70. So I went to Walmart and I picked up those wipers. I put them in myself. It's like not a problem. It would cost me a total of $20. Guess what? They're still working.
Yeah. No, the wipers, I remember I learned how to put wipers on, but the first time I ever did it, it took me close to an hour. I couldn't get the damn things clipped on.
Right, right. Well, the thing
And
is
then,
that there used to be a time you could buy just the blade. You could just buy the blade
yeah,
and slide the blade up and put
yeah,
it on there.
that's what I did. I bought the blade and replaced the thing. I never replaced the entire wiper.
Now they have the housing and everything. You have to buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked. I changed that. I actually rebuilt the transmission. Um, I changed my uh, shocks more than once. Oil changes I used to do all the time. Um, you know, I did all that stuff. Change. I used to work on the timing. Set the points, things like that. But you
Right.
can't do that with these modern cars because you need a computer.
And you
And
don't need you don't have the timing things anymore, or anyway, like you did on a carburetor. I mean,
I
yeah,
have no idea how they do it.
me
I've
neither.
lost touch with.
Everything's electronic now. You know, I mean, we get an EMP. Nobody's going to be able to move unless you got an old car that's at least 25 years old. Like I told Tim, we had get an EMP. Your Jeep is going to be the only thing that'll be able to move.
Here's the cool thing. Did you see the movie with Tom Cruise, War of the Worlds?
Yes, that was filmed down neck where I was from, by the way.
Right, right, right. Down in Newark. So the thing is that I went to see the church where it was filmed around. But anyway,
Oh
the
yeah,
thing
two
is,
blocks away from where we had the bakery.
so here's the thing. In that movie, he had his car in the shop, which was not modern. It was a muscle car. and so that's how they got out because he didn't because they did an EMP and the electronics and all the cars were shot.
Right. And I'm trying to think the gas station. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Sopranos. That's where they used the gas station, which was around the corner from where I used to live when I first got married. When I was in Harris.
I saw the Sopranos in Belleville at that funeral parlor. They were filming there. They filmed there more than once, and I got to see Gandolfini from a distance. He was a big guy.
He was.
He's a real big guy.
We went on my nephew's bachelor party. We went down to Atlantic City on a little bus, right? And we get there, we look outside, and there's Gandolfini smoking a cigar outside. He's joking with somebody while he's waiting for his car, right? And he was a big guy. He was like 6'2", 6'3", whatever, 6'3", I think. And he's smoking a cigar. This was about a year or so before he died. And we're like, oh shit, Gandolfini, and I couldn't wait to get off. We get off, he was gone. His car must have the guy must have brought his car, and he just took off. We wanted to talk to him, didn't get a chance to.
Well, let's see. One of the comedians that on the Carol Burnett show, Tim
Conway.
O'Connor, Conway.
Really?
I saw him in in Las Vegas. He was playing baccarat, and he was in a vile mood because he was losing. So, but I didn't care because that's Tim Conway. Yeah, you should see the look on his face. He was an angry man. He was losing.
Oh, you know who I saw once in Brooklyn I think it was on Carroll Street when I was living in Brooklyn. I'm coming home, and I'm going down Carroll Street, and I see this guy in a loud Hawaiian shirt. Short guy, not too tall, not too short, but not too tall, and big, fat. It was oh my God, what's his name? Jerry Stiller, the comedian.
Wow.
Who played George Costanza's father?
I know, but I can't.
Yeah, this was after the Seinfeld series, and possibly after the other one he did.
Yeah, I saw. I got to speak to Harvey Korman. Harvey Korman was at
Headley.
Yeah, he was at an art gallery, and they were selling cells from the what was that, the Flintstones, because he was the voice of this space guy, like guy that flying around in, I forget what his name was, but the character's name, but it was a spaceman, and he would float with his rocket bat stuff. So he was there to promote that sale because they were selling them for crazy money. And so I was there. I got talked into going, and I had my son Diego with me. I was with my wife at the time, Hilda, and so I went ahead and I put my son in front of me to cover my face. I go, "Hi, Mr. Corman, how are you?" And he went ahead and he goes, "Wow, that's pretty good. Now, can you drink water and say that?" That was it. That was my claim to fame. I also met Uncle Floyd.
I saw Uncle Floyd at my eye doctor's.
He was at the St. Rocco's Festival in Elizabeth with Looney Skip Rooney. They just, so like I went ahead and I saw him, and they gave me the mic, and they go, "So why are you here?" I froze up. I just like, "Look, it's Uncle Floyd. It's Looney Skip Rooney." I just froze up, and they just busted my balls.
Yeah, I saw Uncle Floyd when I was going to the eye doctor up in Kearney, who gave me Kearney. Yeah, it was in Kearney. It gave me my contact lenses back then. And I'm sitting there, and because he put the contact lens in, I went outside, and he told me to sit there for 30 minutes to see how I felt afterward. And there's Uncle Floyd with his girlfriend, who was
Oh, wow.
the doctor's patient. Across the waiting room was full. There were about maybe 15 people in it, and he was right across from me.
Well, here's
Well, you
something
know
that
who I saw in New York City one time,
no.
crossing the street? Yeah, 6th Avenue. China, the wrestler, the female
Okay.
wrestler. Gorgeous. Holy moly, she was gorgeous. I mean,
And she keeps
and she was in a dress, and she was, oh my God, she was so hot. Long black hair. She was with somebody else, and they were crossing the street on their way to I don't know where. But
well,
she was.
here's something that we don't seem to do anymore. Drive-ins. We used to take our cars to the drive-in and
Oh
watch
God,
movies.
the
My
Newark
father,
Drive-In.
my father had a bizarre car. I don't know what make it was, but you were able to tilt the windshield up, and we would watch the movie without having to look through a windshield.
Did he have a Jeep? Jeep used to do
I
that.
don't remember what it was. I was just a little kid.
Okay.
I was very
Well,
small.
in the 60s, every week, 5 of us would go to the drive-in. We would take the station wagon, right? My cousin would sit in the passenger seat. I would drive. I was the only one who had a license at the time. So we would put the seats in the back down. My brother would lie down behind the front seats, and we would close the seat there. The two Joes, who were much smaller, of course, little Joe was little and Joe Vidal was skinny. They would curl up in a 69 position together in the back, and then we'd close that seat. So every week we'd go there, and it was just me and my cousin. I swear that the ticket ladies must have thought we were gay because we were there every week,
Well,
just the two of us.
well, here's the thing. My mother used to make a huge pot of spaghetti and meatballs, and we would go there, and it was all wrapped up and kept hot. And as soon as we got to the drive-in, we were set up, and we got that stupid thing that would the one speaker that would go,
Yeah,
on
you were
the
lucky
driver's
if it
side.
worked.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that but later on they got smarter. They actually had a radio frequency that you could turn on your car radio. But anyway, the thing is that
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
my mother would deal out bowls of pasta with meatballs. We throw the cheese on it. You know, my they weren't going to spend a dime at the concession stand. So
Yeah.
that was that.
We got
So
caught one
look at
time.
this.
Go ahead.
Yep. We're in for 58 minutes. Did you
58
know
minutes
that?
already.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, at one time at the drive-in, my friend Joe got his Opel, right? And he wanted to drive. He wanted to go to the drive-in. So two of the other guys, Big Paul and Little Joe, they went and no, and my brother Richie. I mean, they went and no, Richie was with us in the station wagon. Me, Joe, Richie, and then Little Joe Vidal drove, and Little Joe and Big Paul got in the trunk of his Opel. So we all go in there. Yeah, anyway, the cop, the security guy sees Joe going by himself. So he follows him. And sure enough, Joe gets out of the car, opens the trunk, and two guys pop out. So he gets, oh, wait a minute. What are you doing? Let me see. You don't have tickets to, and then my brother Richie, what happened was when we parked, my cousin Joe said, I'm going to go get something to eat. He went into the concession stand. And my brother Rich says, I'm going to go see how they did. And he goes off to find Joe's Opel. All of a sudden, I'm sitting in the car, and Richie comes back. He goes, and the security guard's with him, right? He goes, he wants to see my ticket, right? And I was like, oh, thank God. I grabbed the two tickets and showed it to the guy. There were two tickets, me and Rich. And I'm praying that my cousin doesn't come back from the concessions. So we got away with that. But they almost got kicked out of the movie that time. My father used to take us to the drive-in when we were little, just like your parents did too.
Mm,
It was a
right.
big deal, It was like, I guess,
It
once a
was a
month.
it was there was a documentary on Prime on the drive-ins and the how they were established. I think sometime after World War II, there were some farmers that weren't making the money they needed, so they created these drive-ins, and it took off. So it
Yeah, it
was
was great, man.
a lot of times, like some of these drive-ins, they had like places where the kids could go, like merry-go-round and stuff, and they had
Yeah,
all
to
this
play.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. No, no, they were
Well,
great places, man.
I think that's good. I think we're
Yeah,
we're,
I think
we're
we're good.
solid
We're
here.
at an hour. We're at an hour already.
Yep,
I hope
all
you
about the
guys
car.
enjoyed this trip down memory lane, dealing with four-wheeled vehicles and a couple of
Absolutely.
two-wheeled vehicles. And
Yes.
we'll see
Well,
you again next time on the View from. Oh, that's right. Our next episode is going to be with John Gordon. We're going to interview him, and that'll be up on Sunday. This will be up to Wednesday. This one right now. It's Monday right now. But we'll be publishing this on Wednesday
no,
morning.
it's Tuesday. It's
Oh, it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Sorry. Well, I'll be publishing it tomorrow morning then. Have a good
Okay.
night or a good afternoon or a good morning wherever you are watching this. And we'll see you again next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines.
Beautiful.